Greetings, I am Ariana Jackson, a junior here at this prestigious university, majoring in agriculture business. Tonight, I serve as the mistress of ceremonies. This is a milestone year celebrating 50 years of YMTF at the University of Arkansas at Pine Bluff, with a theme that is belifting the time we are currently in, reclaiming life, leading, investing, framing, and empowering. Our program will proceed as printed, beginning with the welcome. Thank you.
I am Kamara Handley, a graduating senior from our University City, Pine Bluff, Arkansas, and I currently serve as the 92nd Miss University of Arkansas, Pine Bluff as well. Over the course of these next 3 days, we will be reclaiming life with our student liaisons, with our guest consultants. What is life, you say? Life stands for leading, investing, framing, and empowering, skills we need in our everyday life. We will have workshops, luncheons, and panelists to gain great information. I'm certain you all will find these next few days the most inspiring as we reclaim life. Thank you all.
Hi everyone, my name is Jalen Lawson. I'm a sophomore here at the University of Arkansas at Pine Bluff. My major is Industrial Technology Management and Applied Engineering, and I'm expected to graduate in 2024. Today's meditation will be the day your life turned around. Decide once and for all that you will be the best you can be in whatever you set out to do. George Johnson, founder of Johnson Products and one of Black America's wealthiest individuals, once offered these comments to a local business group. Be the best that you can be, have faith in yourself, be a person of worth and know it. Believe in yourself, hold within your consciousness a vision of your life that you desire. Move through each day with the vision of yourself as strong yet loving, flexible yet in change. Act as though failing was impossible. Within you are limitless possibilities waiting for birth. Go ahead, give life to them. Choose to see yourself as well as mankind as the creative expression of a loving God. The book of Genesis says, the Creator, the Sovereign of the universe, breathed into our nostrils and gave us life. In other words, each of us contains a part of the divine. Only when we are committed to excellence can we begin to measure up to all of that we were created to be. Only when we see mankind as the product of a supreme being can we explain those thousands of daily strivings that urge us to live up to the best within us. If you want the kind of happiness and deep personal satisfaction out of your life that no one can destroy, search until you find what you can do best. Consider who you are. You were born for greatness. Make a strong commitment to reach your full potential. Now would you all please bow your heads for grace? Thank you, Lord, for the food we are about to receive. Thank you for your love and the blessings that you have placed upon our lives. Your favor has no end, but it lasts for a lifetime. Bless the hands that prepared this food set before us, and let it bring nourishment and strength to our bodies so that we can use that strength to serve you. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. All right. Well, to Chancellor, Mr. Bennett, Ms. Cherry, and her team, faculty, staff of UAPB, Mr. Jeff Johnson, thanks for coming to share with Golden Lion Nation. To my fellow consultants and the Golden Lions that are currently matriculating here at UAPB. And since I saw the Super Bowl, everybody, lottie-dottie, lottie-dottie, oh no. It is my honor to bring a few remarks. I am Felisa Kennedy, a proud and dedicated 1990 graduate of the University of Arkansas at Pine Bluff. My task is to bring brief greetings. Ms. Cherry said, be brief, sister, be brief. So, greetings that will center and challenge all of us as we kick off the 50th Youth Motivational Task Force Empowerment Conference, YMTF, 50 years, the golden year, reclaiming life, leading, investing, framing, and empowerment. So let me get to it. I have been involved with YMTF for 32 years. 2 as a student, 30 as a consultant. It would have been 34, but I took a couple of years off to serve in the Peace Corps. My words, my advice, I mentioned how long I've been involved with YMTF so you would understand why I can give you all some advice. I'm not saying that I'm the granny of the group, but I've been involved a long stretch of years. My advice, listen to every word that is spoken, starting today through Tuesday. Take to heart the words spoken that challenge you and disrupts your peace. Be open to doing and believing that you can accomplish what might seem impossible. Is Mr. Alvin Peer in the room? I'm sure he's close by. Alvin would be proud of me, and he'll appreciate hearing that I did this, especially since it's Sunday. It is written that an intelligent mind acquires knowledge, and the ear of the wise seeks knowledge. So I'm asking you to acquire. Use your A+ minds to learn and obtain all the knowledge that is going to be dropped during this YMTF Empowerment Conference, this 50th golden year, and use your best listening skills to let the information shared prick your hearts and challenge you into your greatness. And engage with the folks who will be dropping knowledge during these next few days. This is what I know. If you listen to the words that are spoken, not just any words, but the words that challenge you, that disrupts your peace, or that moves or stirs you, your life will change. So Golden Lion Nation, let's have a great YMTF Empowerment Conference. Thank you, and God bless.
You have received everything that you need to be powered up, so let's do it.
Last year we tapped the student leaders from the student organization, and they did a beautiful job. The feedback was real good from the consultants about the leaders. But then we said, okay, but those students were already leaders. How do we get some of the students who are not already leaders to be leaders in the YMTF program for 1995? And what we did was to send out letters to the faculty asking, would you suggest 4 or 5 students? Sure, give those who were leaders an opportunity to participate, but give us some students who are not already the leaders. Give us some of the more quiet students. Give us some students that you feel need this exposure. And they did that. Therefore, we had a greater mix of students in the student leader group this year. We had some 90 to 100 students come to this room to say, yes, somebody suggested I be a leader, I don't know what, but they told me to come to this room. What can I do?
Well, one of the classes I went to, the instructor offered the students extra credit just for listening and participating and writing up a report of what was going on. And that's one way to do it. They respond to getting extra credit.
Most people in life say, I want to be successful, but they don't have the recipe. And they go through life with a constant state of trial and error. They try this, they fail. They try that, they fail. They try, they fail, and eventually, most people give up. Statistics show us, if you take 100 people, start them out at the exact same place at the age of 19. By the time they are 65, one will be wealthy.
To go by Career Services, room 202 in Caldwell Hall, because they are qualified and certified over there in that office to help any of you all that will set you up with internships, as well as do and provide mock interviews for everybody.
We have 3 consultants here today who will be talking to you about college, world of work, life after that, and that's what we're here to do today. But my goal is to motivate you, to prepare you to do something differently.
One thing too is to surround yourself with positive people to surround yourselves with people that are going places in life, that are doing things in life. Because as long as you're, looking out for the people that are not doing anything, you're going to continue to stay on that same level.
Thank you, whoever thought of just the subject of credit and talking about how sometimes we can get caught up in credit cards.
I had a consultant to give me a homework assignment about an orange. How can I make $1 orange into $10?
This event really fed my soul. It got me through the week, and it's given me more motivation to go back to my job.
1.5 million students will be graduating in 2005. Do any of you students have a clue how competitive it's going to be in the job market?
I would like to recommend to the group to consider having more key speakers in a general forum.
When you continue to learn, you become the standard by which others will be judged.
And we have to expose our young people to positive role models that don't have anything to do with sports and entertainment. And then we can move in the right direction. We can move. Those things are out there.
Excellent job at that. Especially Miss Cherry, know I'm scared of her. Okay.
You never know who's around you, but you got to be prepared with your talents. But that means also that you've got to be prepared to come out of your zone of comfort.
We are live with YMTF, Youth Motivational Task Force, on UAPB-TV, Channel 24. We are also broadcasting live, 89.7 KUAP.
We will certainly look at your extracurricular activities to try to determine whether or not you are a leader.
So customer service to me is being responsive to the customer, and then even when they're not exactly right, and notice my words, exactly right, making them feel like they're close.
Don't worry about anyone else. Be proud of yourself and the things that you're doing to track to where you want to go in life. So I leave you with that, and I hope that you seize every opportunity this wonderful campus have to offer to you.
I've been so impressed now that my expectation is to find great students at UAPB, and that's being met.
UAPB is giving you the will to take on the world. And I want you all to know you can go anywhere in the world from right here. Everything that you need, all the basics, everything that you need will be given to you right here, especially in this program.
Others think that education should furnish them with the notable ends rather than means to an end. You consultants tell them that education is a means to an end, it is not the end itself.
Kevin and I, we hold the title of co-chair, but we really just do what Miss Shirley Cherry tells us to do.
You better be supporting somebody who's directly affecting the bottom line. If not, guess what? We're going to make you available for the job market. We don't need you. Either one or two things. You got to affect the bottom line, or you better be supporting somebody that's affecting the bottom line.
Things change over time. You have to be aware of things that are changing, and you have to adapt and change with those things. All of you all are here because things have changed, and you see that in these students. The students are different every year.
I just would like to say at this particular time that this has been a great 35th year celebration, and we appreciate all of you for what you've done to make it so. It was a success, and we know it was. And it was only a success because of you, and we appreciate you.
I'm also a product of the Youth Motivational Task Force. As a student matriculating here, I was exposed to YMTF. I don't know any other program that has better served me than YMTF.
Miranda and I are here with Live with YMTF radio broadcast in celebration of our annual Youth Motivational Task Force program. This program is designed to help students realize the importance of preparing for the successful entry into the real work world.
You must be smart enough to take advantage of opportunities that come your way. You need to understand that success is simply an intersection of opportunity and preparation.
I want you to know that 7 out of 10 of them, when I asked them the question, what made them decide what they were going to do with their lives? They had just graduated in June. 7 out of 10 said those speakers that the principal brought in here. Now, the speakers were the Youth Motivation Task Force people.
You can sag on your own time. You can holler at your boys and your peeps like you want to in code-switching discourse and vernacular tradition and colloquialism on your dime. But when you's from 9 to 5, hi, how are you?
We know you come, but we don't understand it. But when we talk to the high schools, that's when I got it.
is we want to give back too. You know, you try to speak to us and you want us to understand. So when we speak to the high school, that's when I got it. I want to give back too. So this was very, very enlightening for me.
We don't have any greater investment that we need to make than in the young people that we're charged with trying to help move into society. And as I told Mr. Lance and others at this table that we were talking, I said, you know, these young people that are here are the young people that are going to be running the world of the future. And if we don't do a good job with them, we're going to have a miserable time in the nursing home.
The student who envisions success and sits under the guidance of a mentor to develop a plan to implement the vision is the student who has the competitive edge.
But I can tell you that determination will win over talent every time.
We only have one avenue. And what is that? Education. That's the only way that we have access to full empowerment.
You can look for some mentors because each person has their own gifts, their own strengths that bring to the table for you. If you can find one mentor in your accounting field, for example, if you'll find one mentor on another level for you, one in regards to your interests, then that's great. But don't just look for one mentor, find several mentors to get your strengths up a little bit.
The best way that you can repay them is to become a mentor yourself.
We asked him to film for posterity, and of course, you know, he's invisible, but I just want you to recognize him because he's really a loyal, hard-working person, Mr. Kelley. Now, he is an example, along with Mrs. Jones, her people who go over and beyond what the job description says.
Will your work be remembered? Do you think the work you are doing this year will be recognized and admired? Still serving people, still making a difference 10 years from now.
You've been getting some encouragement and motivation and support from various people over the last couple of days. And you ought to really embrace that, because in the real world, you're not going to have that every day. This might be the last cuddling you get. So don't reject getting cuddled.
You better wake up and open your eyes. This is not a game. Your future is on the line. Your career is on the line. Your well-being is on the line. Your ability to provide for your family is on the line. And if you can't provide for your family, who's going to do it? That's why you are here.
They may work for Kellogg, but their Kellogg may have a friend that works for the company that I want to work for.
But that can be a huge hurdle for you to realize that you need to definitely humble yourself, and it'll take you a long way.
They shared so much with me, like not having an email address from onehotmama.com or mrstubmuffin.com and all that kind of stuff, because they do get a lot of resumes from those inappropriate email addresses, or to even put your resume on your smartphone, so you're always ready to send it.
When you have commitment, you have teamwork. When you have commitment, you have a society that's able to function. And when you have commitment, you have a YMTF that produces the many students that are going to be successful moving forward.
This is very powerful. A lot of people, young students, don't get this. I've talked to my friends from other schools, and I thought this was something that went on everywhere. And they were, what's YMTF? What's a consulting? They come to your school?
Do not allow fear to immobilize you. So it's okay to be afraid, as long as you don't allow that to prevent you from acting.
I had a number of students come up to me, Corbin, will you mentor me? Or, once we got to a point of telling our stories, and they were actually able to relate with us, you can see that sparkle come to their eyes, that little glimmer of hope come back into their minds, because you see, okay, they were just like me at one point in time. They had drugs in their family. Their mom wasn't always there, but they made it. So that means I can make it too.
Now I want to leave you with this.
Remember, where there's opportunity, there's growth. And without exposure, there cannot be any experience. Thank you.
I think it's a wonderful thing when executives can come and give of themselves and their time and talent to our students, and our students really appreciate it. And it really makes a difference in their lives. Mr. Bennett was just telling me, he said, when the folks leave, you'll see the change in behavior. You can see it and sense it. So,
Michael starts to take a step and to remember the instruction of the director. Every step he took lit up. Because the director before Michael even got there, and pre-lit his steps. So all he had to do was follow the instructions. So Michael took a step and lit up. Michael took another step and lit up. Every step he took lit up, and made a great video. What happened? What would happen if Michael started doing his own thing, leading to his own understanding? Then the steps will light up, because no matter how good Michael was, no matter how good you are, no matter how talented you think you are, you got to follow the instructions of the director. People, I got good news for you. While you were still in your mother's womb, before you got here, God pre-lit your steps. And all you got to do is step exactly where he tells you to step, and every step will. Thank you.
For every position that you're looking to take, there are hundreds of other people that not only want it, but they're also qualified. So that means you gotta go in there with a smile, knowing more than the average, wanting to do more than what you're getting paid for. Your exchange has got to be so high to make an impact, but I believe you can do it.
42 years ago, and while I sat on my couch, I said, well, the university was celebrating probably its 99th year in existence. And I tried to recall some of the participants that was there, and you probably would have had Mr. H.G. Barnett, you would have had Mr. Luther Dangerfield and a few others. When we started this program 42 years ago, even though I was a student, it had zero budget. Zero budget. And when I started working with it in 77, 78, then Chancellor Herman B. Smith gave me $500 to pay for the meal.
I say thank you, UAPB, because you turned me into a golden lion. See, students that are in here right now, you're not a golden lion yet. You're just a lion. You don't turn into a golden lion when you start paying your tuition. You turn into a golden lion when your light shines. That golden means something. It illuminates. And that illumination is the pathway to excellence and greatness for the next generation. See, when you become a golden lion, it's no longer about you. It's about those that are coming behind you.
Of all the good things that we have going on at UAPB, this is one of the best things that we have going on.
I am a 1990 graduate of the University of Arkansas at Pine Bluff, and I've also been a youth motivational consultant for 24 years.
I'm a Pine Bluff native with AT&T, and I've been with YMTF for about 17 years now.
I am so excited to have experienced this year's program. The theme was awesome. Reboot for success, Control, Alt, Delete.
I could not be more proud of the students' involvement in our program, more thankful for the consultants for coming down and joining us and helping us make this program successful, as well as our speaker, Mr. Omar Kareem. We really appreciate him coming and the message that he had for us.
So tonight, I want to share a few things with you in terms of Reboot for Success and maximizing your potential. I love Miss Cherry, the The theme talking about control yourself. Alter, look for alternate solutions. Delete situations that are toxic and may cause tension and negative energy.
So my name is Malcolm Mathis, and I'm a 2006 graduate of the University of Arkansas at Pine Bluff. I work at Monsanto, who was a silver sponsor for the 2016 YMTF conference. And when I was on the yard, I was a liaison, so it's very cool to come back and give back as an alumni of the university and help pour into the lives of the students so that they can become better, and so that it creates that pipeline for them to become successful. Rebooting for success was the theme for this year. Controlling, alternating, and deleting some of the things that are in their life. So it was cool to come back so we can create that pipeline for them to be successful, and then they can then reach back and keep that pipeline going. And I'm a strong advocate for the education that I received here. Not only the education in terms of academics, but the experiences that I went through here helped mold and develop the skills that I use today. I was a chemistry major when I was here. And with that, my analytical skills, some of the professors that helped me along the way with references and mentoring and things of that nature really helped me to get to the place that I'm in today.
Career Services wants nothing but for us to be successful. So it's a different element, and I'm just grateful to everybody in Career Services. Thank you so much. I had my first internship this year, my first co-op with Monday, getting paid $15 an hour. So thank you, Career Services. My consultant, Malcolm Mathis II, he has really impacted me. He's told me that I shouldn't just limit myself, because at first I wanted to become a physician assistant, but he's taught me that I shouldn't have the word but in my vocabulary, and that I shouldn't just limit myself, that I should go for the actual pediatrician. So I think I'm going to change my career goal into pediatrician instead of physician assistant. And thank you.
I want to say thank you to this entire program. I think that it's an amazing opportunity for professionals to take time out of their schedule and come and mentor and sit and teach and actually learn something from students as well. And so thank you for all of you professionals who took time out of your schedule to come and spend time with the students here at University of Arkansas Pine Bluff.
You've been coming to this Career Services office, you've been here at the university for a while, you know what to expect. She said, we've given you everything that you need to be successful on this interview. You've already done well so far, and he couldn't even ask to finish it. So why don't you go ahead and I want you to square your shoulders, I want you to get yourself together, and I want you to go and make us proud. And that's what I did, friends. I went back down that hallway with my resume in hand. I had my shoulders perked out and I was ready to go. I walked back in that room and I aced that interview. And he was so impressed. And he said, hey, listen, I know you're here to interview for this position, but there's a program that we have, this leadership program I think you would be perfect for. She said, would you be interested in flying to St. Louis next week to interview? I said, well, I don't have anything on my schedule. I live in the dorm. Let me call my mom and see if I can go to St. Louis next week.
University of Arkansas at Pine Bluff, I leave you with this. Know who you are. Seize the opportunity in the opposition and lift others in the process. Only then will you experience success when the numbers are against you.
So I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to say that I have observed the YMTF program grow over the years, and I'm thankful for that. I want to also say to you good evening and welcome. All of those of you who are representative of various companies and various government agencies, I want to thank you for coming and sharing your expertise with our students, helping them to understand the theme of this year's program. Success, that's on me. And the emphasis is on what? Me. It's on me, not me, but you, me.
So we had one young man that decided to take on the challenge to create an app for YMTF. Bradford, Would you come forward, please? Certificate of Appreciation. This certificate is awarded to Bradford House for your hard work and dedication on creating an app for our Youth Motivation Task Force program.
Yes, indeed. And it has been a blessing to some people because you can look back and see the people who have come through that YMTF, and they're doing well in their various and respective offices, and they are going forth and they're coming back as consultants. That's a wonderful legacy for you and for the University of Arkansas at Pine Bluff.
One of the things I found helpful is finding something that separates you apart from other potential advocates, because you understand you're going to be competing not necessarily against people besides you in the same room, at the same college, but globally.
I have to eliminate the excuses, and I have to have the aptitude and the attitude to be able to get to the altitude of career advancement in my workplace.
And never be afraid to get feedback. It doesn't have to be from your supervisor. It could be from someone that works on your team, right? And because you need feedback from all angles in order to grow. When you stop getting feedback on your job, that's when you need to worry.
In addition to that, you need to know how to communicate effectively. It's all about communication, not just verbally. Sometimes your body language says a lot. So you have to know how to communicate both effectively.
Don't go buy the next Jordans to come out. Go invest in a suit. Go invest in a nice suit, a tie, something that you can have. I'm no knocking super bad or anything like that. Get a quality suit, something you can wear to a true interview, and then practice putting it on. Men, practice tying a tie. If you don't know how to tie a tie, YouTube has everything at our fingertips. They'll teach you how to tie a tie. If not, find a mentor who knows how to tie different types of ties.
My first job was my supervisor was a white male. He had a PhD in physics as well. So he was saying that since my PhD came from an HBCU, that my PhD was pretty much useless. So I asked him why would he think that, and he's like, well, you know, at Alabama A&M University, all you did was study physics courses. I'm just like, well, duh, if I'm getting a PhD in physics, what else should I study? So I said, well, what was on your curriculum? He said, well, I took mostly math classes. And I was like, well, in order to do physics, you gotta know how to do math. So my PhD is equal or even better than yours. And then I said, well, are you saying that my PhD isn't equivalent to yours because I went to HBCU? Total silence.
Thank you for coming, and I hope you enjoyed everything. And please, please, put it on your agenda to come back next year.
Yes, ma'am.
Hello, everyone. My name is Joshua Ventures. I'm a sophomore here at UAPB. I majored in mass communications with a concentration in broadcasting. I am here today to introduce our speaker, Mr. Jeff Johnson. Mr. Jeff Johnson has leveraged over 2 decades of nonprofit executive, media, and strategic communications to expertise to provide executive level counsel to brands, institutions, and municipalities. He supports corporate clients behind the scenes by advising and implementing inclusion, equity, impact strategy, strategic communications, and brand management work. He formerly was the National Youth Director of the NAACP and Vice President of the Hip Hop Summit Action Network. He has provided 10 years of commentary to urban markets every week via the Tom Joyner and Ricky Smiley morning shows, and had a 13-year run as the voice of the community impact for Black entertainment television. He resides in Baltimore, Maryland, and is honored husband of Jacqueline and the proud father of Madison, Miles, Malcolm, Baldwin, and Gardner. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Jeff Johnson.
The next thing I'm excited and hopeful, ecstatic for what you will do. I am embracing, in fact I'm anticipating the next thing that I'll see from you. Here's why. For you have great plans for my future. Yes, you have great plans for my future. Yes, you have great plans for our future. So I'm excited.
Man, that was awesome, brother. Let's give him a round of applause as he goes to the seat. I need another level of energy. Because it's dry as hell in here tonight. I need another level of energy. Because it's dry as hell in here right now. I don't need that though. So let me say this. Thank you for the invitation. To Ms. Cherry, who is a giant, who is committed, who is consistent, who is gangster, who is scary, who is convincing, who is supportive, who is loving, who is here when nobody's here, doing work when nobody's watching, to impact those that many have forgotten, to ensure that 50 years can be 75 years for no other reason because it's not going to fall on her watch. And so I'm thankful for the invitation of her and the committee, for all those who do incredible work as consultants, for all those who have supported this program, not just over the last 50 years, but have committed in a new time that requires new things and new places for students to see things different ways, going into a marketplace that is different than anything that many of us have ever seen before. I thank you for the work that you do. I thank more the students who are here, because in a time and place where you could be doing anything else, you decided to invest in yourselves in a way that takes you to a place that you've never been before. I want to be brief, because I feel like there have been like 35 speeches already, especially as we viewed 50 years of memories. But I do want to acknowledge this notion of reclaiming your life. Leadership, investment, framing, empowerment. And as much as I want to talk to you from that theme, I can't. All right. I don't have it in me. Because when I think about leadership, investment, framing, and empowerment, I think to myself, in the years that I've worked with leaders and watched people invest and partner with people to frame in order that people would be empowered, I recognize it was stuff you had to do before you did that. And so how many of you know that it's stuff you don't know? How many of you are excited about what you don't know? See, there's something about being excited about your ignorance. I'm excited about my ignorance because it has me on a greater level of intentionality and excitement about what I don't know. So how many of us, especially as black folks, have been in rooms where you as a young leader pretended like you knew the answer to a question you didn't know? How many of y'all been somewhere where you act like you did that before, but you never did that before? How many of y'all said you've been there before, but that was just IG, it was a filter, you wasn't really there? So I want to deal with the stuff that I believe needs to come before that life. All right? I don't know how you can be a leader and you don't know how to love. So rock with me for a second. I don't know how you can lead and not love. How can you be committed to moving an institution, an organization, a group of people, a company even, to a place that isn't rooted in transforming something you love? It don't work. And I watch black folks all the time claim they leading people that they actually hate. I'm not talking about people you don't like, because I don't like black people a lot. It's like family. How many of y'all know that one person in your family don't, no matter what I don't like you. I love you. If people show up at the house and we gotta fight, I will. But it's stuff I'm not inviting you to, because I don't like you. But I love you, you family, we together. But the bigger problem is you can't lead effectively when you don't love you. You cannot lead. I don't care if you're trying to create a company. I don't care if you're trying to be president of this. I don't care if you're trying to be whatever of that. I don't care if you think that it's about being on a team. You cannot lead to the degree that you've been called to if you don't love you. How many people in this room, if you're honest, I'm challenged with loving me? Okay, so I'm gonna ask this question again. Because everybody can't be committed to lying. Now, understanding having a challenge with loving you doesn't mean you don't. It means it's hard. Having a challenge with loving you doesn't mean you never have. It means that, damn it might be difficult today. Having challenges loving you doesn't mean that you don't want to. It sometimes means you ain't had nobody do it for you the right way, and you don't even know what it looks like. Talk about it. So I'm gonna ask again. How many of you have challenges loving you? All right, there's a little bit more honesty. Who is willing to stand up for me right now and tell me one of the challenges you're having with loving you? All right, my man in the back, stand up. I'm coming to you. See, y'all, I don't believe in no nonsensical coming, trying to say a bunch of stuff that make y'all clap and you leave and it don't mean nothing. We dealing with stuff. What's up, brother?
What's up? How you doing? Jalil, sophomore, Chicago.
So, tell me about one of the challenges you had.
I feel like for me, it's not more of loving myself, more like not loving my situation, not being able to change what's going on in my life and stuff like that. So I feel like as far as that go, like not loving how, like some of the struggles I had to go through and stuff like that.
So what don't you love?
I don't like that good people keep being taken away from me in my life, and I keep losing family that I care about.
I appreciate you sharing. Anybody else? You have a challenge loving me right now. Sis, stand up.
mistakes and stuff, it's like, that's what I love about myself. It's like, I'm human, I make mistakes, but because I have the expectation for my people to, I guess, live their dream through myself.
Thank you so much, y'all. Let's give them both a round of applause. How many of y'all right now struggling with not liking where you are? You know what's crazy? The song that he just sang. I know the plans I have for you. Plans for you to prosper. And everybody shout. But they don't never talk about stuff that came before that. And stuff that came before that was build houses and live in them. Plant seed and watch them grow. Marry. Multiply and do not decrease. Pray for the place where you are. For as it prospers, so will you prosper. But here's the thing. Loving you is not about liking where you are. Loving you is sometimes understanding you are the gift for where you are. Loving you is not about liking everything that's happening. Loving you is about understanding the stuff that I got to deal with was set up for me. For me to be able to get to a place where I can do what nobody else in my family has ever been able to do. But loving us is about looking in the mirror, waking up in the morning, and recognizing I am amazing. I'm not amazing because what I did in my classes last week. I'm not amazing because of the clothes that I have on. I'm not amazing because of whatever car I drive. I'm not amazing because wherever home I come from or don't come from. I'm not amazing because of whatever job I'm going to get. I'm amazing because I woke up this morning. And when I look in the mirror and I look at my face, my eyes, my nose, my hair, my lack of hair, my body, whatever I think is great or not, I love me because I was made so specifically and wonderfully for this specific moment that nobody else looks like me, nobody else talks like me, nobody else moves like me, nobody else thinks like me, nobody else does the things that I do, the way that I do them, in the way that I do them, in the time that I do them, with who that I do them. I am uniquely so ridiculously fantastic that even when I screw up, I'm amazing. Baby, when you fall, let me ask you this. How many of you sometimes get afraid because you don't want to make mistakes? How many of you have often not done something, not because you didn't think you could do it, because you didn't want nobody to see you mess up doing it? Let me ask you this. If I stand here on my feet, right? What's your name, sis? Jay, come here. I need you. So, if we both stand here, I'm actually going to let you hold the mic because I'm not going to ask you to do what I'm about to do. All right? So, if we both here, we both want to get to the door. She like, I'm not moving because all these people watching me right now. And I don't want them to see me fail. And I take one step and fall. And all y'all looking at me right now. But I get up. Who closer? Who closer? Your mistakes, thank you, sis, I appreciate you. Your mistakes are part of the process. And loving yourself enough to understand that your mistakes don't define who you are is part of what loving you needs to be. Because there's so many of us that now do or don't feel a certain way about ourselves based on the followers that we have and what they say about who they think we are. When the reality is, how many of us are impressing people, spending money you don't have to buy stuff you don't need to impress people you don't like who pretended to have stuff that they can't afford to go to places they don't actually go to be.
They're not hearing you.
Where the love at? Because if you love yourself, why you gotta pretend that you got anything? If you love yourself, why you gotta pretend you got an invitation to a place you didn't really have an invitation to? If you love yourself when you somewhere dope, why you gotta show anybody? How many of y'all have been places that you never fully enjoyed because you spent so long trying to show other people how you was there? Y'all know them. Because it'd be 35 minutes trying to get the right angle with the right people to show people who you don't even like where you was at. Love is quiet and don't require anybody knowing what you do. Love is confident. Doesn't need anybody else's validation for it to exist. Love is patient. It wants you to make mistakes because in the midst of it, you grow. That's right. Love is honest. It don't need you to make up nothing to be nobody. It wants you exactly as you are. I read something the other day that said, true love has no agenda. So it means anybody who requires you to be something for them to love you doesn't love you. They love what you do for them. If somebody you got to do something for somebody to love you, they don't love you, they love what you do for them. And one of the greatest things I read is if you love anything hard enough, it will reveal all the secrets. How many of us walk around, we don't even know us because we don't love ourselves enough to reveal our own secrets to ourselves? How many times you want something and you won't even say it out loud because you're afraid to admit that's who you are? How many times do you not want something, but you say you do because saying you didn't would make you different? How can we lead when we don't love ourselves enough to walk into the fullness of our own, what's next is that I, and it's not investment, it's identity. See, when I fully love myself, I fully accept myself. When I fully accept myself, I get to know myself. You ever been feeling somebody? Like feeling somebody, like you feel somebody, like she got you open. Right? And you be on the phone, like on the phone. Like I know you don't even talk on the phone, but you be on the phone. And you ask her stuff that you don't ask nobody else. You tell her stuff that you don't tell nobody else. You open, you feeling her. Let me not talk to the brothers, because let me, all right. Sisters, you feeling it. You asking him stuff. You want to get to know him, what his favorite color is, what he like to eat, what his favorite team is, where he wants to go, what he wants to be. You tell him stuff that you ain't tell no other dude before. Because when you feel loved enough, you tell your secrets. But if we don't tell our secrets to ourselves, how do we take the time and chance to get to know who we are, what we really love, what we really like, trying new things, going new places, understanding what I really feel, not just where I come from, not just the family that I'm from, not just the city that I'm from, not just that I'm black, but I'm talking about who I am as an energy being. The stuff that I like that makes me excited, the stuff that I love, the stuff that I'm afraid of, the stuff that makes me excited. Your identity is connected to what you were put here for. And when you love yourself enough to reveal your own secrets, your identity gets stronger to the point where people start talking to you about who they think you are, and it's just amusing banter. I had somebody hit me on IG the other day telling me all the things they thought about what I was and wasn't. And I literally laughed out loud. Like almost on the floor. Like it was funny. Because I'm like, damn, they spent a whole lot of time on this. Like there was a lot of energy placed into dissecting who they thought they never met me one day, they never had a conversation with me, I've never been in their presence as far as I know. I don't even think they know any people that I know, but they were clear on trying to tell me who I was. And there are people in this room, I won't point anybody out, that you literally had a bad day. Because of something somebody told you about who they thought you were. But they don't know you. But you let it bother you. They don't care about you. But you let it bother you. Baldwin and Garvey are the youngest of my basketball team of 5 kids. And Garvey is 3, and he is a gangster. Like, it is frightening. Like Garvey, don't step on your brother's face like that. You can't step on your brother's face like that. Garvey, say sorry, or you gotta go to bed. And Garvey will say, good night. He is gangster. So, Garvey is constantly, he's 3, is constantly just attacking his brother. Telling him he thinks he's dumb, telling him all kind of stuff, all kind of things that aren't appropriate. And Baldwin will get angry, because Baldwin is a sensitive one, and always run in and say, Garvey said I was this. Garvey said I was this, Daddy. What that means is, Daddy, do something to Garvey. And I don't. Because I'm like, well, baby, are you dumb? He's like, no. Then why does it matter what Garvey said? Garvey said, I'm a piece of doo-doo. Baldwin, are you a piece of doo-doo? No, Daddy. Then why does it matter? So, 3 days ago, Baldwin is angry at Garvey and says, Garvey, I think you're stupid. And Garvey looked at him and said, I don't care what you think, Baldwin, because I'm not. And it was a celebratory moment in the house just to set precedent for what it means when your identity is so secure that you're not moved by things said about you that you know are not you. And this is one of the biggest things that you all are going to need as you move forward. Because how many people have already told you you ain't supposed to graduate from college? How many people already told you you're not going to start that business? How many people already told you you're not going to get to that place you said you want to get to? How many people already told you you're not going to make more money than anybody else in your family? How many people already told you that you're not going to be the one that changes the legacy of your family? Because of where you're from, or because your mama is, or who your daddy isn't. But they don't know you. And so I need you to be so in tune with who you are, what you love, what you care about, what you want, what you see. How many of y'all got a vision that's so crazy you're afraid to even say it out loud? That's what I'm talking about. Something you see so clearly, you don't even know if it's possible, but it's a part of you. It's a part of who you are. It wakes you up in the morning and puts you to sleep at night. It pushes you to do things that other people don't even realize why you're doing it. That's a part of your identity, your vision, your desires, your love. So before you can lead, I need you to love. Before you can invest, I need you to have identity, because here's the problem. I see so many leaders that invest in the wrong stuff because they don't know who they are. They invest in the wrong stuff, they invest in the wrong people, they invest their time the wrong way, they invest their energy the wrong way, they give, give to stuff that doesn't do anything except make them feel good because they don't love themselves enough and know themselves enough to do the things that they're called to do versus the things that make them feel loved and important. How many of y'all know somebody that has a position and they always got to tell you what their position is? They got to tell you what their title is. They can tell you who they are. Anybody that has to tell you who they are already lost. Because people don't respond to titles. They respond to strength. And strength isn't about forcing something. Strength is simply about being. I'm not concerned about you framing. I'm concerned about you developing family. And relationships are absolutely everything. And some of us got a family that we inherited that we love. Some of us have a family we inherited that we're surviving. Some of us have a family that we inherited that is schizophrenic. One day we love them, one day we don't. But I'm talking about the family that you build. Who are the relationships that are going to be part of you going to the next phase of your life? There are a lot of people that say if you look at the 5 people you spend the most time with, you know who you are. That's why you hanging out with your people like, y'all crazy. You're crazy too. I'm dealing with something right now with my 18-year-old son who has seriously lost his mind. He's working with a production company in LA because he did not want to go to school. I'm like, fine, I don't care if you want to go to school or not, what's your plan? He's like, I'm gonna work with this production company, I'm gonna build out this, I'm gonna start doing this. I'm like, fine, show me the benchmarks, let's go. Go, he's doing it. Last week, he illustrated something to me that he clearly was with the wrong crew. When I had to say, you do know this is a felony. No, straight up. Like, you do know this is a felony, right? What you mean, Dad? So-and-so and so-and-so. Yeah, that's what I thought you was gonna say. If you don't build family that is reflective of what your values are, of what your vision is, of what you believe you've been called to, doesn't mean they gotta do the same things. Doesn't have to mean they do them the same way. Do they share the same values that you do? Do they see you? Because there's nothing worse than somebody to claim to be your friend, claim to be your family, but doesn't see you. They see who they want you to be. How many of y'all right now are having challenges with day ones who can't accept who you evolved into being? Some of y'all just too hurt to raise your hand. Because they don't understand what you mean you don't want to do this no more. What you mean we can't do this no more? What you mean you don't want to do this? And there's a beautiful thing that I've learned, that when you are building your team, it's almost like the general manager of a basketball team, right? General manager of a basketball team is like, yo, I need to get 5 people starting on the court that can win a championship. Not 5 people who like to play basketball. And sometimes you got people saying, I want to be part of your family, and they can't ball. You can't dribble. You can't shoot. You can't rebound. You think we playing kickball. Just because you love somebody doesn't mean they have to be on your team. I got boys in my life who, if they call, I'm picking up the phone. If they need something, I'm going to try to, from a distance, make sure they have it. I'm dead serious. Because you don't want ball like I ball. So you can't play with me, but I'm gonna give you lifetime courtside seats. I ain't never gonna separate myself from you. I'm never gonna turn my back on you, but you can't play in the game I'm playing. You gotta create family. And family is also about how do I build a group of people who I can be so transparent with that fear is safe. Let me say that again. How many brothers in here, if you're totally honest with yourself, you know dudes that will fight for you, you know guys that will ride for you, you know guys that might take somebody out for you, but you still don't tell them the stuff that's hurting you the most. Why? Because somewhere somebody told us that having challenges is weak. Somewhere somebody told us that needing somebody is weak. Somewhere somebody told us that not being able to do everything for us in some way, shape, or form makes us less than we're supposed to be. There is a brother in this room right now, Brother George Frazier, who you will hear from tomorrow. I remember the day I called him and was like, bruh, I'm tight. I don't have enough to pay my mortgage. I got hit. And this wasn't where I was supposed to be. Wasn't where I wanted to be. Wasn't where I should have been. And he never judged me. He never asked me what the hell did I do wrong. He didn't crush my spirit. He said, Jeff, I need you to make sure that you got a circle of people around you that when you call and you're in need, they know how to be there for you. Brother Frazier, I love you in ways that you will never understand. And from that moment to this, he ain't never brought it up one time. Now, I don't even know if he remembers. Never brought it up one time. Because that's family. Family is not about the people that make us feel like we're supposed to be perfect. Family is about the people that make us feel protected. Family is not about the people that make you feel stupid when you do things, when you fail, when you slip up. Family is who holds you accountable while they love you. Family is never angry when you get and they don't. Family says, show me how you did that so I can get on. One of the biggest problems with us as black folks is that we don't build family. We don't build teams that are rooted in all of us winning. We build stuff that's about one person winning and everybody else serving them as they win. That ain't family. That's slavery. If you got people in your life that can't celebrate you when you win, they ain't not family. I need y'all to build family before you can frame your strategy for how you're going to move in this world. Because you got to know the difference between people who you work with, people who you know, and people who are family. It's just like young people having to know the difference between old people and elders. No, dead serious. Any young person in here, young leader, young entrepreneur, especially from a communal standpoint, because how many times we be in these black spaces and you got some old black person trying to tell you what you deserve or not because they old. Hello? Okay, let me explain the difference. Old people are old. They've been here a long time, and most of the time, they in the way. Elders are those who understand that their time on this earth was not just for their own benefit, but that they would be able to put their hands on a younger younger generation, that generation will not be destined to make the mistakes of the previous. Elders are supposed to be revered. Old people are supposed to be removed. For those old people in the room who are offended, let's go to the Word. King Saul, David fought a giant the king was supposed to fight. And then as opposed to being like, you my dude, let me bring you in, let's do this, he mad at what David got. Am I right? I'm just saying, it's real quiet up here. He ultimately attempted to try to kill David, but he died in the field. Moses was an elder. When Joshua started feeling himself and his chest started pumping up, he wasn't scared of Joshua's gangster. He was like, man, I done been to the mountaintop and seen God. The elders know who they are. They know where they've been. And they love young people. Old people think that their title is their identity. And they don't love young people. They fear them because they fear they're going to take their title. Elders understand that my leadership is best judged by who I prepare to take my place. Old people don't ever want their place taken. That's why they got to be removed. Because they're only there for themselves, not for the people. In your life, you got to know the difference as you build family between the elders you have in your family for wisdom and the old people you take out because they're blocking your destiny. Last but not least, before you can empower anybody, I want you to explore. Y'all ever seen like kids, like young kids, just with no care in the world, just running? Just trying stuff, just breaking stuff. Just putting stuff in their mouth. Just like reckless abandon, like I know they just said this was hot, but I gotta feel it to know for myself. That's 15 feet, but I'm gonna jump anyway. Anybody in college right now miss that about yourself? Because you're too afraid to explore. Man, the thing that we got so messed up from a mental health perspective is for brothers in particular, it's not even about us not being able to show feeling or emotion that's bad. No, I'm not gonna cry because it's gonna make me weep. No. I'm not going to be depressed because that shows that I can't fight. We so bad, we can't be too happy because we don't want to look goofy. We can't be too excited because we got to look like we've been there before. We can't even be in love because we don't want nobody to be able to hurt us. So we have created a very psychosis that says the highest level of being a black man is don't feel nothing. And then we mad when people rob us of our humanity because we don't feel nothing. Explore. Explore what makes you happy. Explore your own emotions. Explore what makes you angry, what makes you sad, what makes you feel. Because feeling is the highest level of humanity. It doesn't mean be led by your feelings. It doesn't mean be controlled by your feelings. It means understand who you are, because in a true sense of exploration, you find things that you wouldn't have found otherwise. And I'm so tired of black leaders coming up with regurgitated ideas of somebody else that didn't work. Because you won't explore discovering something that your generation deserves. You know why during King Day every year, people keep getting some little kid to come up and get an I Have a Dream speech? Because they want to move people emotionally with somebody else's words, because theirs don't hit. I don't never want to hear the I Have a Dream speech again. Not because I don't think that it's one of the greatest oratorical expressions that have ever existed in American history. I get that. But when King was killed, he wasn't giving I Have a Dream speech. When he killed, he was talking about something different. He was talking about his opposition to the Vietnam War. He was talking about a poor people's campaign. He was talking about something that was revolutionary even for black people. He had the lowest approval rating ever when he was killed. See, sometimes being yourself ain't popular. So when you're moving in the trueness of yourself and exploring things that ain't gonna make sense to everybody, but it's gonna feel amazing to you. Everybody ain't gonna get it, but you're gonna be learning more than you ever learned before. I want you to have a childlike level of inquisitiveness, that when you walk into your classes, I love going into a room where I don't understand what they're talking about. You ever been in a room? I was in a room maybe a month ago with these dudes who are doing nanotechnology. And I'm like, what word is that? I gotta look that up. And then I just started being like, what did you say? What did that mean? I don't understand what that means. Can you say again what that means? All right, well, when they was telling me what it meant, they used 3 more words I didn't understand. So I'm like, what does that mean? What does that mean? Oh, for real? Well, how you do this? And when the 30 minutes in this room was over for me, I had learned more than anybody else in the room. Because I was willing to ask questions. And it was all right for me to be ignorant about something I haven't studied. But how many times are we in a room where there's supposed to be stuff we're supposed to know? And we leave a room not knowing because we weren't willing to explore in the room we were supposed to explore, to find out the things that we needed to be able to use and build in our own leadership. I want y'all to explore in a way that every morning you wake up excited to learn something new. That you almost can't wait till you get somewhere where you don't know the answer to something. And that you internalize it, and that you use it, and that you build on that, and you create mastery, and you become so willing to share what you know. That you're constantly, from right now to the time you pass away, never stop being a student committed to mastery. Because only those committed to mastery are those that ultimately have wisdom. And those who have wisdom are ultimately only those that can say that they are prepared to provide what's next for the generation yet to come. So I don't need y'all to reclaim anything. Are y'all dead? No. Somewhere, y'all Lazarus? So you ain't got to reclaim life. You have life. So whether it's loving and your identity and your family and exploring, or whether it's leadership, investment, framing, and empowering, you don't have to reclaim anything. You got to reimagine it. And you got to reimagine it in this moment where you all are in college in a way nobody has ever had to be in college before. All these people telling you what you need to do, how you need to do it, they didn't barely do it with what they had, let alone where you are. In a world that still isn't fully connected, but still connected. In a world that still has a level of competition, but every time you try to get to a place to get the information, they try to change the rules on how you can get it. They're telling you that you got to prepare for these kind of jobs, but these kind of jobs are shrinking. They tell you to position yourself to do this, or that you feel like you have to be an entrepreneur, when the reality is most people that are entrepreneurs weren't entrepreneurs first. They went somewhere to master some information so that when they became an entrepreneur, they wasn't making mistakes they didn't have to make because they learned the stuff they needed to know so they could master what they were doing. Reimagine what's possible. Reimagine who you want to do it with. Reimagine where you want to do it. At least half of y'all should be in this room right now thinking about what other part of the world you're going to be in doing what you want to do. Every single one of you were born to solve something. So the foundation of what comes next should not be about where you work. Not even about what company you create. All those are vehicles for what you were put here to do. But if you allow the vehicle to define who you are, you're always going to try to be a vehicle instead of be you. You're the gift. You're the magic. You're the idea. You're the solution. You just figure out what vehicle do I need to use in this moment to solve the problem in this place. But the next time you do it, it might be a different vehicle. It might be in a different place. The other thing is, do not be afraid of being in a place that nobody knows what you're doing. I thought it was hilarious when people didn't even know who Robert Smith was until he paid for everybody's tuition at Morehouse. Some of y'all still like, who is Robert Smith? Robert Smith is one of the most successful, not black, no. There are a whole lot of white investors that aren't billionaires. Let's be clear. But we can say he's one of the most successful black, but he's one of the most successful investors there is. George, how many years did he go without ever losing a dollar? For a client? Over a decade? He went over, 12 years. He went 12 years without losing a dollar for his clients. Right. And black folks didn't know who he was. Because we included him in the number when we talk about saving everybody. If we didn't know who he was, it had been him and Oprah. Save us, please. He moved with stealth. Nobody had to know who he was. He had to have no press release. He had to have no party. He had to have no social media. Year after year after year after year after year, he made money. And he invested here and there. And he supported black people here and there. And then one day, he was speaking at Morehouse's graduation. And a week before the graduation, he asked them to send him the names of all of the men and figured out what their debt was. His family didn't know he was going to do it. The people at the company didn't know he was going to do it. And during the graduation, he decided to make this announcement. Everybody in this graduation class paying your student debt. Damn. How many of the people you know that got 1 million or more followers on IG are liquid enough to pay the debt of one student versus one class? I need y'all to feel confident moving in silence. I need you to love yourself so much, know who you are so much, have a family that's so in tune, explore in a way that makes you excited, that if you never told anybody what you was doing, it wouldn't matter, because what matters most is the impact you make. And so whether it's in corporate America, or whether it's in entrepreneurship, whether it's in the sciences, or whether it's in sports, whether it's in law, or whether it's in medicine, or whether it's in agriculture, or whether it's in some stuff that none of us understand except you, because you ain't figured out what the name of it is yet. Understand that your power is not in what you're about to get. Your power is in who you already are. Questions? Yes, ma'am.
How did you become so determined with your life? Like, how did you know that this is what you wanted to be?
How did I know how did I become so determined, and how did I know what I was going to be? I had no idea. I'm literally in a place right now in my life where I know that there is something next, and I don't know what it is yet. And I'm so excited about it, I don't know what to do. But I refuse to force to make it something I think it should be. That being in a place where I'm exploring to be open to when it greets me. I was on BT for 13 years. I have interviewed President Obama for BT. I have been in 15 countries for BT. I have had multiple shows. I have had a really great time, and TV was never my full-time job. But I never wanted to be on TV. I literally was starting my political consulting company, and one of my homegirls was like, you should have a meeting with Stephen Hill, who at the time was the head of content for BET. So he created 106 & Park. He's the first one that did the BET Awards. And he and I had been on a couple of panels before. So I'm like, fine. At that point, I was going to meet with anybody who would pay for lunch. So I went. He and I sat down. I came into his office. He said, Jeff, you want to be on TV? I'm like, I don't know. It's BET. I've worked really hard to be credible. Some of y'all missed that. He's like, I want to put you on 106 & Park or Rap City, but I don't know how. And this is really important about knowing yourself. 106 & Park at that time was the highest rated show on the network. AJ and Free were there. It was off to crazy ratings. And I said, I can't do 106 & Park. I'm like, from the time they come on to the time they leave, they yelling. Yo! That's not me. I can't do that. I said, let me be with Tigger. I said, I come to Rap City once a week. We can talk about some stuff, and I'm gonna bounce. He was like, bet. You're gonna be Tigger's cousin. We're gonna call you Cousin Jeff. We're gonna start taping next week. I was like, Cousin Jeff. Don't really love that name. I have been able to travel the world. I've been able to interview heads of state. I've been able to go places I never thought I'd be able to go, and I never put in a resume. I never sang or danced for anybody. I never had to sell my soul to be able to get there because it came to me. And what I fundamentally believe is that as you do all the things that you're called to do, as you work to create mastery in certain places, that every opportunity you want is coming to you. I've seen it over and over and over and over again. I'm banking on it right now. I don't remember the last time I did a job interview. And even the last one I did when I was National Youth Director at NAACP, a brother by the name of Jamal Bryant called me because I was a volunteer for the NAACP. I was a volunteer with a bunch of young people in Toledo, Ohio. So I wasn't even in a major city. And Jamal was like, yo, what do I have to do to get you to come to Baltimore? I'm like, ask. Came to Baltimore for an interview. He hired me the next week. Totally changed my life. And so I just believe that our job is to take the gifts we have to acknowledge them, and to try to master them. To partner with people that think the way that we do, to invest in them as they invest in us, and build the things that we imagine. And when we do that, we have absolutely no idea. I always tell people, I'm trying to prepare for the blessing that I don't know is coming. And it always comes. It don't mean pain don't come. It doesn't mean heartache doesn't come. It doesn't mean failure doesn't come. It just means inevitably, in pushing through those things, every single gift. If I had only taken jobs that I could see, I would be in a terrible place right now. Because I just believe that God, the universe, whatever you believe in, has something bigger for you than you currently know how to see. Because all the stuff you're trying to survive right now is blocking you from seeing the highest version of yourself that was intended for you when you were created. Anybody else?
Thank you. That's good.
Yes, sir.
What was it like working on the Ricky Smiley Morning Show?
It's hilarious. Every day. Rick is a nut, but he and I see eye to eye. Same thing with Ricky. Ricky and I were both a part of an event in Detroit, and I was speaking at the event, and Rick was hosting it. And this was like a hardcore Black History Month event, and I'm going in. And I turn to the side, and Rick is on the side of the stage with a chair taking notes. I'm like, man. So I get off stage, I go back. They tell me to come out because Rick has been spending the last 5 minutes talking about me. He's like, I gotta get you to come on the show. It's gonna be great. And I'm so used to people in entertainment just talking. People talk all the time about what they're gonna do, what they think they should do, what we gotta do. And I'm like, okay, cool, whatever. The next Monday, about 15 people called me because they like, Jeff, Rick been talking about you on the show for about the last 5 minutes. And then 2 days after that, I was already doing Tom Joyner. And the week after that, started doing Ricky Smiley. But again, I didn't look to do it. I didn't reach out for him to do it. But it's fun. I mean, I love Rick. He is a really beautiful human being who cares about Black people the same way I care about Black people. And he doesn't have to have me on that show for that show to work. That show does not work because of me. He believes that something I bring adds to that show. And I'm thankful for that. So it's a blessing. It's a lot of fun. But I literally have been looking for somebody else to take my place. Because I don't want to talk about politics anymore. So I want to identify somebody young who's done the work, that has who has a level and a passion for politics the same way I did when I first started. And I've already told the producers, y'all find somebody else or I'm out, because I don't want to talk about this anymore. So it's going to be and I haven't said that publicly, but we also got to know when it's time to go. As much as we're open to what comes, we also got to know when it's time to go.
Yes, my question was twofold. Number one, do you have, I guess, like some type of mentoring program? And if so, how would a person access that community or organization?
Look, I do not have a formal mentoring program. I have about 30, I think we're at 38 young people who I currently mentor. And it's not in a formal program. I just see dope people, and I'm like, yo, how can I help you? And then I ask them to do something that proves they want it. And then when they prove they want it, then I make myself available to them. But the other part of it for me, I don't have a single mentor that I haven't learned something from. So, I'm 48 years old. I'm considered a Generation Xer. I have more millennials that are my friends than Xers. Because Xers just be acting too old. Like, man, like you act like baby boomers. Like, can you be creative and just a little bit courageous? Like, Jesus Christ, we've been doing the same thing forever and it didn't work. Can we please do some different stuff? Not all Xers, obviously. But no, so it's important for me to have mentorship, but I recognize mentorship as a mutually beneficial relationship. You have to be confident enough to share with me what you know, because I need something. I need to learn from you. I don't care how old you are. I got this 13-year-old. I have him call him sometimes and be like, man, I'm having a hard time with life, man. I need you to explain this to me. This 13-year-old be dropping bars on the regular. I'm like, jeez, and you adopt me? What's the second part?
No, just how can one access your community?
Oh, y'all can hit me on IG at Jeff's Nation. It's me, I answer it. I'm not even really doing a lot of social anymore, but I am communicating with people through social at this point. I literally archived all my pictures in October and got off of IG from October until, I want to say 3 weeks ago, because it just was toxic. Like, yo, even the people I had chosen to follow, I'm like, oh my God, you're bringing me some horrible energy. What am I doing? I gotta rethink my feed. So yeah, at this point, I'm probably unfollowing people at a higher rate than I'm following people. And it's not even because it's like seriously, it's not even like a judgment thing. It's just like, yo, what you do is dope. Like, do that. I just don't need to consume that on a regular basis. I need some other stuff. So it is me. I do respond. I ask that you give me at least 24 to 48 hours because sometimes stuff is tight and I got a lot of kids. Yeah, I mean, the question was, what are ways to, either for yourself or to others, to help explore? Just try stuff. Like, literally, it's that simple. If you see somebody, y'all ever seen somebody, I love us so much, because we'll see somebody do something, be like, that's some white stuff right there. I'm not doing that. And what's white stuff? Like, half the stuff they doing is based on science we created. Ain't no white stuff. I mean, it's just, what do you want to try? What do you want to experience? And then are you willing to try it? And it's everything, right? It's from, how many times have you been somewhere to eat and you didn't try it because you thought it was nasty? And so what if it was? At least you say you tried it. Like, I think life is about experiences. And I recognize how much I've grown as a result of the experiences I've had. And so from jumping out of an airplane, which I actually love to do, to trying food in all different parts of the world. But it's also about exploring people. Because somebody asked me the other day, who's the most incredible person you've ever met? And so Kanye wrote the foreword for my book. I interviewed all manners of everybody. I have met some incredible people in the political space and the business space and the entertainment space. But whenever I think about this person, we were in Liberia covering the inauguration of a woman named Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. And for those of you that don't know Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, she's the first and only woman that's ever been elected head of state of a country on the continent of Africa. And so this is, recently post the Civil War. The country still was, like, when we landed in Monrovia, there were gas stations but no gas pumps. It was just dudes outside with gas in jugs. There were only 3 restaurants open in Monrovia and 2 hotels. And so it was still a country and a city that was, you would drive by buildings and you would still see buildings that had been riddled with bullets. And so it was an incredible time to be there. And because so much of that country's civil war was funded by diamonds, the United Nations still had a ban on diamonds leaving Liberia. So we were doing this story on diamond mines in Liberia. So we drove like 3 hours outside of Monrovia, and on the way back in, a brother by the name of Minister Faya said to the crew, he said, have y'all ever had palm wine? And I've been to West Africa quite a bit, and I've had palm wine. The crew had not. And you can't pull up at no store and buy palm wine. You have to stop at somebody's house And if they have it, they can decide they want to share it with you. So we pull over on the side of the road to what we would say looked like a hut. It's really more like a shack. And Minister Fight goes in and he comes out. And this woman, probably in her early 20s, one of the most beautiful women I've ever seen in my life, comes out, tattered clothes, no shoes, and begins to arrange tree stumps in the front of this shack for us to sit and partake of her family's palm wine. I have been to 9-star hotels. I have been to 3 Michelin-star restaurants. I have been to some of the dopest curated stuff that I've known in existence, and there's never been a time in my life where somebody made me feel more welcomed and made me feel a greater level of hospitality than this woman, and she was a deaf mute. And so when people ask me who the greatest person I've ever met is, it was her. Because with nothing, with no money, with no status, with no shoes, with no voice, with no ears, she made me feel like a king. And if she could do that with nothing, what excuse do I have not to give everything that I have to make an impact? Thanks, y'all.
Jeff, on behalf of the Office of Career Services and the YMTF committee, we would like to present you with this small token so that, I know you've been here before.
Yes, ma'am.
But you take that. So you can remember what I went through today. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
I need to know somebody real quick. Who's my man right here in the gray mask? Yep, you. Yes.
Yes, sir.
What's your name?
28 Fred Collins.
What do you want to do?
My major is I want to have my own construction company.
You want to have your own construction company?
Yes, sir.
Do you know anybody who owns a construction company?
Duffy.
Okay.
I believe so.
But do you know them?
That's one of my professors.
Okay.
I don't know him personally, but he's my teacher whenever I take his classes or whatever.
I see something in you.
I needed to hear that.
Your spirit been calling me all night. And I want to invest in you.
Wow.
All right?
Yes, sir.
So I need to make sure, can you make sure he has my number?
I will do it.
I need you to call me, and I don't even know what it is. So I just want us to have a conversation, and I just want to listen to you, and we'll figure it out. But I'm supposed to be investing in you. All right?
My name is Franklin Stanislaus. I am a senior here, currently majoring in accounting. And it is my pleasure tonight to recognize all the guests. But first, let me recognize the supporters, because without them, this program would not be possible. Audience, please hold all applause until the last name has been called. To the Platinum supporters, we have Synchrony Financial, Murphy USA, and Axiom. Gold supporters, we have the Target Corporation. And to the individual supporters, we have Nairi and Kerry Billups and Kamisha Freeman. Let's give a round of applause to those supporters. Secondly, I would like to recognize the special guest. And the first special guest I would like to recognize is the Chancellor and the members of his executive cabinet, Dr. Lawrence Alexander and his wife, Mrs. Veronica Alexander. Secondly, I would like to recognize the Vice Chancellor of Student Affairs, Mr. Albert Bennett. Yes, sir. Thirdly, I would like to recognize the Vice Chancellor of Enrollment Management and Student Success, Dr. Brad Talley. Did I say that right? Brock Tully, yes, sir. To all the members of the UAPB faculty and staff, and to all the YMTF consultants, I would like to thank you. Please give them a round of applause.
Good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Jacoby Knowlton, a junior here at the university majoring in business administration with a concentration in marketing. I have participated in the YMTF program for now 3 consecutive years. And given my experience, I can honestly say that I am eternally grateful for the things I have learned from the people in this room and what I will learn from those of you who are here with us for the first time. Admittedly, when I signed up for YMTF my first year, I did so simply because I was asked, not at all expecting the impact it would have on me as a student and aspiring professional. Having had the opportunity to meet, speak with, and learn from Having had the opportunity to meet, speak with, and listen to the success stories of those who have participated in previous programs have been nothing shy of inspiring. I believe that things and people grow when fed well, which happens here at YMTF. And before you think that, I'm not talking about the catering. The people here seriously pour into you with years of experience, good or bad, and sitting in seats not much different than those we as students sitting in today has taught them. They lead by example in showing that why you may not be exactly where you want to be now, with time, determination, and willingness to get back up once you have fallen, you can achieve anything you set sights on. A couple years ago, I would have cracked under the weight of this microphone. Some of you may have even been here to see me perform that trick live my freshman year. But even then, I remember almost immediately being met with people like Ms. Lois Bowers, Ms. Bobby Sweat, and a couple of my peers who were willing to help me shoulder the weight in a time of weakness and strengthen me for the future so that I could help someone else. Because of experiences like these and the amazing individuals who are gracious enough to share their wisdom with me and many other students here, I stand before you today, not perfect, not complete, but strengthened and ready to conquer anything. Thank you.
Good evening. Good evening. I'd like to thank everyone first for coming on this evening and sharing in this great occasion to kick off this year's YMTF Youth Motivational Task Force and celebrate the 50th anniversary of YMTF. 50 years. Some of us in here know how long 50 years is, and some of us can only imagine. But it's a half a century of YMTF success. That's deserving of a round of applause. We hope you've enjoyed this evening. I won't be long. Ms. Cherry didn't give me a time. I appreciate that, Ms. Cherry. Yeah. But we hope you've enjoyed this evening. We're pleased and delighted to have such a dynamic speaker tonight as Brother Jeff Johnson. Thank you, Jeff. He's right back on this campus at UAPB. Jeff has become familiar with UAPB. He knows us well and we know him. And we appreciate you every time you come and share the time with us and with our students. We love having you around the Golden Lion Nation. You're an honorary Golden Lion, just by that nature. And we thank you so much for traveling back to the great state of Arkansas and delivering such words of inspiration to our students. Students, how'd you enjoy Jeff tonight? Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Thank you, Jeff. We'd also like to thank all of our consultants for contributing to the success of the Youth Motivation Task Force. And we're pleased to have all of you here tonight, those consultants who, some of them, we've seen them come every year, and we've added some through the years, but we appreciate you. And if I can just take a moment and ask all of our consultants who are here to just stand and let's show some love for our consultants who will come and share with us with YMTF. Thank you so much. We appreciate you for your presence, we appreciate you for your support, and we appreciate you most of all for pouring into our students and for giving back to this university and to the students, because what you do, we cannot put a price on. It is far more valuable than any financial numbers or zeros that I can put, because the advice and the counsel and the direction that you give our students remain with them for the rest of their lives and give to them avenues for success. So we thank you. As a university, we are committed to being student-focused, success-driven, and mission-based. And we seek to provide opportunities for our students to prepare them for the global workforce as they work toward completing their degrees here. Throughout the years of this great event, our consultants have provided students with career direction and insight while inspiring them to take full advantage of the opportunities available to them. Your guidance has been instrumental in helping students transition into successful careers. So thank you for all you do and all that you have done these past 50 years. Last, but certainly not least, we'd like to recognize and show appreciation to those individuals who work behind the scenes to make all of this happen. The Office of Career Services. Ms. Shirley Cherry. Somebody give her a nudge and wake her up. Ms. Cherry, you and your team have displayed a high level of hard work and diligence to continue to make YMTF a success. Year after year, you continue to push through, ensuring that our students have the best experience that they can have. And as one individual said on the video, of all the great things that we have here at the University of Arkansas at Pine Bluff, YMTF is one of the best things going. Miss Shirley, that was me on the video. I just want to say that. But we thank you, and certainly thank you again, Brother Jeff. I tell you, Jeff brought up nanotechnology, and I got excited. So I had to jump out of my seat because I learned just a few years ago what nanotechnology was. And we have some folks here, Dr. Ruth Jones. She could give us a lecture tonight on nanotechnology, and let me tell you, Dr. Jones and our students, Dr. Mortazavi was telling us in cabinet, he's got all these assistantships and research assistant positions in his lab, and he can't find students to fill them. Talk about a great experience. You don't need to know nano to go in there and find out what nano's about and get a research experience and earn some money at the same time. We got to take advantage of those opportunities when they present themselves at our university. And I have been pushing hard on our administrators, especially in the research area, to provide more research experiences for our students, because that's going to broaden your horizon on what's out there. It's going to put you in the forefront of innovation and discovery and research. That's going to be a good thing. Any direction you go in life. I just wanted to add that little extra plug tonight, if I could. So having said all that, I want to say kudos on getting this great event done And thank you all for indulging tonight, and thanks to the Career Services, the Student Affairs Division, and thank you all once again. Y'all have a great evening.
Good evening. What a night. What a night. I saw all of our students out there today, and when I drove up, I told someone, I said, well, the consultant's not going to have any place to park. That's good. And I have not seen this many students at an open banquet in a long time. And Miss Cherry and her team and our YMTF consultants, job well done. That committee that put together 50 years. 50 years is a long time. Little did I know, 1978, that a band of 12 consultants will revolutionize career services at the University of Arkansas at Pine Bluff. Everybody talked about the Bible quite a bit. Mr. Johnson did. You know, 12 people can turn the world upside down. So those 12 consultants has turned career development at UAPB upside down. Little did I know, at 1978, with a zero budget, and generally we would schedule this program when we have a basketball game. We had the basketball game last night, and you would be proud of those Golden Lions. We won both of them. But little did I know, a little left-handed point guard at that time would be not only a star at the basketball team, but she has come on to lead the Youth Motivation Task Force program at UAPB and be a big contributor, and that's Miss Felicia Kennedy. And little did I know that one of my favorite tight ends on the Golden Lion football team would marry his college sweetheart, and his college sweetheart would become one of the leading guiding forces for the Youth Motivation Task Force program and one of the biggest financial contributors as well as personal contributors to the Youth Motivation Task Force program, and Ms. Belois Bowers. And for our students, little did I know that a retired executive from Southwestern Bell would walk into Career Services and apply and accept, and I'm gonna tell you, Ms. Chair, a $20,000 a year job to work in Career Service, and she have come to lead Career Services toward some of the greatest heights in its 50 years. So that goes on to show you what you can do. You don't know what life has for you. You can be anything that you want to be, and UAPB is the place to make it happen. So I want you to make sure that you enjoy the rest of these days. We have a career fair on Wednesday. Is it Wednesday? So make sure you come, tell your classmates, you can be anything you want to be, that no one tell you you can't. And so thank you for coming tonight. We look forward to your participation the rest of the week. So have a good night, drive safely.